We're going to head to the Church of Mary. Just out in the middle of a field. This is the Church of Mary out this way. The Church of Mary. And this is obviously remnants, houses maybe, monastery, nunnery, whatever they had back then. It would have been a while. But this is just a lot of excavation. Again, how much energy and time does it take to do this? Going into the Church of Mary, this looks like a wall that fell down. And then these would have been hallways, rooms. They have parachuting here from airport. This is a pretty big complex. Let's see what kind of artifacts we see spread out throughout. There's all kinds of different rock columns. Again, a lot of this stuff, I still think this was built in different times. This seems like this was a small chapel. Just, it has a feeling of a small chapel here. There's a doorway that was blocked off. This, I think, you never know if this was a bath or a chapel. It goes down. I'm sure it goes a lot farther than we can see. The marble column, what's left of it, it's just eaten away over time. You can see what time does to a marble column over time. How it's just eaten away. And they filled in with some sort of cement. It's just being eaten by time. Time takes its toll on anything built. This was rebuilt recently, within, we'll say 100 years or so. 1900s when they started doing this stuff. Things changed. I hear steps just going up to nowhere. I doubt they had organs playing back in the day, if they even had music in here. This looks like this would have been maybe an open courtyard, possibly. This maybe was an outdoor enclosed place of worship. A lot of this has been reconstructed. (1967) something. I'll interpret that here on the screen for you below. This is a very long church. This is more of a complex than a church. But again, back in the day, things were different. We were in a different part of the world. I see all kinds of cool different sculpting and engraving. And again, just remnants just laying around everywhere. I doubt this is where they fell. And we see more of these unique carvings. The square with a line. And I got a feeling maybe it was for reinforcement. That's how they kept the rocks from sliding around and moving. Here's some more of what I believe to be eggs or fruits or something in the top of a column, or maybe the bottom base, it's hard to tell. And then as we look up, stacked over on the side, we see some unique engravings. Look what I found. Some more cool engravings. Is it a Gordian knot, a religious symbol? I've not seen this anywhere. I'm looking at these symbols in about the second room, and this is the exact same carving, except much smaller. This, we have to find out what this is. Somebody out there knows what this is. This is about hand size. The one at Side was quite larger, but is that a religious symbol or just artwork? That does not appear in nature. Somebody is getting very creative with geometry, shapes, and art. If you know what that shape means, let me know. Here's some, I'm guessing these were wall plaques. You can see how that was fixed with, looks like epoxy. And more ruins, just piled and piled and piles of ruins. Just everywhere we look. It's just things laying around with no rhyme or reason. And here's a big, maybe a baptismal bowl. They have rooms, again with the boxes and the crates, things numbered, labeled. A very big area. Oh, and there's actual water in here. And there's coinage, so people are finding this a very special place, make a wish. But I think this was reconstructed over time. We can see some marble, and then what looks like modern cement and reinforcement bars to hold it. This is pretty well worn iron. It looks like some reinforcement, and I think the purple maybe is leftover paints. It's hard to tell. There's some yellow lichen on here. This is definitely lichen, but you can see how it was probably cracked and broken, and they rebuilt it quite a while ago. Now people are using it for wishing well. But this is pretty big. It's 5 feet across or so at least. That's pretty important. More unique inscription carving. The real mystery here is, where's all the rubble that came from up? This probably went up a bit higher, probably had a roof, but where's all the rubble? There's stuff on the side, but it's not equal to mass, even close to what's here. The flooring is obviously changed quite a bit. It could even be below our feet, but there's stuff just missing. It's just not here. Where did they take it? Where did they put it? This was built well after Ephesus itself. Here's some more unique carvings just laying down. Again, was this a wall? Was this a base? So here's an odd piece. I don't think this is its original placement, but what was this, a wall? It's just strange. It looks like an animal in there, maybe its tail. The head disappears into the sediment, and it's just a carving. It just doesn't make sense what that was. Just amazing. Absolutely speechless, some of this stuff, of what it was. I'm trying to even guess what it was. Here's more carvings, diggings out here. So something went lower. And again, this whole field was probably some sort of complex, and it's just buried. There's small ridges out there if you can make it out. Probably each one of those ridges has the top of a wall, and it's just filled with maybe 2 meters of dirt and detritus over time. As we explore further into the Church of Mary, this just keeps going on. This is a very large complex. I would imagine there were hundreds of people throughout the day in here doing all kinds of different things. Praying mostly, talking, meeting, discussing. And now it's just rubble with a lot missing. There's a door there that leads to something. Columns, and I'm gonna guess this was the main chamber based on the door and the openness. And who knows if they had chairs? Probably not, but I would imagine they had blankets, towels. Maybe they just sat on the floor. Maybe they stood. And is this even the original floor? This maybe was wall. It's all mixed match. And I got a feeling that this was placed by people over the years, like last 200 years, 150 years, and it was probably all mosaic. It just has the feeling that there was something. But again, where's the tops? Where's the walls? It's all gone. Or maybe we're standing on the walls. I'm gonna make a bold prediction based on common sense that they didn't make carvings like this in the floor, that this was part of a wall. There's just carvings in places. This looks like something was written that was censored out. So there's that ancient censorship again. They chiseled out whatever was there. Each of these blocks has something uniquely different in it. And again, how old is it? Is it from the original? This does not look like a good symbol to have in the Church of Mary. I'm sure that's fairly recent by somebody. In the Church of Mary, in what I'm calling the main chamber, there's more censorship. That we can't make out. Oh, look at this one. And there's a lot of censorship, a lot of chipped out stuff. Or maybe this wasn't even finished. Maybe it was just started and they left it. But here's something that I'm recognizing some Latin symbols. What do you see here? If you can tell, let me know. And we come to the end of where we're supposedly allowed to go. This looks like a main area that has an arch, which tells me there was something down below grade, and it looks like there, maybe it was a chamber going down. I can't see below it, and then there's fence behind it, and then another wall. So there's definitely more to this. It's just ripped off and we're not allowed to go, or at least that's kind of what the sign says, no entrance. And this is the Church of Mary at Ephesus, of what's left of it, and a wall, and that looks like that was rebuilt. Here's the, oh, I gotta stick my head in here. Let's see what's in here. Oh, geez. I gotta do this. Let's see what's in here. Hello, hello, hello. Just rocks, no bones. Just litter. Stop throwing water bottles, people. Come on, it's not a garbage festival. But I'm looking up, and it's definitely built around something. See, here's something else that was blocked off. You just gotta wonder, it's like, what was here? If they started doing this in the 1900s, what was here before that? Here's a nice area. This is fairly, wow, it just keeps going. It's huge. Whoa, marble. This is important stuff here. We're gonna go into there, but there's way more here. Wow. This is just amazing how much stuff is here. I see modern cement. This has an important feeling. We've got the big marble on the sides, and it's hard to tell if this is originally placed here, but probably. And then what looks like, that's a bath. That's got to be a bath. I'm going to guess it's very important. Maybe this was baptismal. It looks deep enough. It probably goes down a little bit further. You can see the Christianity here. These are more the modern cross than the plus. This was a very special room. There's a lot of statues and ornamental pieces that would have been in here. You could just feel it. Absolutely. And this was different. And I got a feeling this even went down further. And maybe this was slightly raised. We noticed on the wall in the marble these big chunks. These are everywhere throughout Ephesus, but this one in particular caught our attention. That is definitely a cross, and this was probably a holder where they melted or they pressed in maybe gold, and it was pulled out, and right directly across from it, this one. And this one, there's no remnants of the cross except for that. Maybe this was the base, but this was definitely pilfered. So I'm gonna guess that these big chunk remnants were probably from an earthquake, but again, they might have moved them here with giant cranes, tractors. There's no wheel dents that I can see, but big chunks that are formed like that generally fell over or were placed there. No, they were placed here. There's the beams. So these are protected, but there's still not enough debris. There's a farmer's field over here. And just scrub and more remnants of little things and just tiny little pieces of rock everywhere. It just, this stuff just was thrown haphazardly, but there's probably just tons of this stuff, hundreds and hundreds of tons. You can see the old bricks. And again, look at this, the way there's no rhyme or reason to it. Maybe this is an archway. That looks like it was part of an archway. Here you can see the baptismal, what we call the baptismal area. These giant chunks that are turned sideways. This is on its side. This was placed here. These are not from the earthquakes, based on the fact that they're sitting on giant railroad ties and braced up. So somehow they brought some stuff in here. It's just a mix match of marble, clay, brick, rock, everything. Hiding in plain sight is this. This is the Church of Mary at Ephesus. And I'm thinking this was not part of the floor. I think this is the wall. I've seen this somewhere else. It was in the city somewhere. I'll have to go back and look. A lot of video shot. Okay, these, I'm calling this what I see. This looks like a giant cover stone for something. This is way too thick and broken up. Plus it's got a hole in the middle that was carved on purpose. There's some other carvings in here. These don't look right here. There's a lot of stuff that doesn't look right in this flooring. I think all these blocks were wall stone, and what's underneath might be protected mosaic, because this just doesn't match up. Nothing here matches. There's got to be pictures somewhere of what this looked like at one time. So here's another mystery. I'm seeing this circle, right? You see the etching, and then it stops, so there's some stuff missing. And here we have a hole in the middle. So I'm thinking something turned around inside this circle. There's nothing else that I can see that looks like that. And it's amazing how rough it is right now. Here's the only other stones that maybe could be it, and I don't see any circles. I feel like I want to help rebuild some stuff, so I'm going to take what somebody else started and I'm just going to add to it. So there's my addition to the current state of affairs here. But I don't think we'll ever know what this looked like or what it will look like. Even with the best attempts, there's just too many missing pieces unless they're hiding them underground, which is more than likely. Anyways, the Church of Mary, Ephesus, we're just seeing all kinds of mixed match rocks, remnants, carvings, everything. Everything is from a different time, different civilizations, different eras. Now check this out. Here is something you just don't see anywhere. And I doubt a Christian group would have put that up the top. So we're guessing that has to be from the 1900s when they rediscovered this for the umpteenth time. But I see polymer fills, cement fills, so somebody guessed. And again, did they take the idea from Egypt? Did they take it from modern building? Was it somebody's impression of what they wanted it to look like? It's just very hard to tell.